Again, this is something that many of us have been calling on for years to do. For me, dating back to my first term in Congress. Last Congress, I helped pass the FAA Reauthorization Act, requiring the FAA to deploy critical safety technology at airports across the country to help prevent close calls on and around the runways, to actually help with our broader FAA staffing shortages and technology issues. It's why I worked so hard to help write and pass the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which includes $53 million for Jersey airports with $42 million for Newark to upgrade our terminals and enhance runway safety. But what the Secretary of Transportation proposed yesterday is a massive project that just won't happen overnight and with the snap of a finger. Here are steps we got to take to make sure we get it done. First, I'm calling on the Trump administration and the Secretary of Transportation to send their FAA air traffic control overhaul plan to Congress to vote on by June 1st. They should fast track this, get it to us to vote on by June 1st. This should be an emergency funding request that Congress brings to the floor immediately to vote on to get these resources moving to help fix the technology at our airports, including in our towers. Outdated technology, as I mentioned, in the tower that oversees all incoming flights here, that dates back to 1973. Copper wire, wires that probably caused the outage that happened again today for another 90 seconds of radar and radio. It's clear that we can't afford to delay fixing our towers any longer. No more copper wires. No towers that don't have Wi-Fi or who can't upgrade their technology to be able to even deal with adding the latest and greatest that we have around the world to track planes and air traffic control. We're the greatest country in the world. We can do this, and we must do it now. As part of this request, I'm asking the FAA to work closely with the Port Authority to conduct an immediate review of the technical wiring and infrastructure here in Newark and in the region and Philadelphia, anywhere that oversees this airspace, so we don't miss anything in this process, that we make sure we upgrade all of our technology as needed. They should tell me what they need, and I'll go fight to make sure it gets in the request. Second, we must immediately move more air traffic controllers from other parts of the country to this short-staffed region, the busiest airspace in the world. The staffing shortage has meant more delays and cancellations and more overworked and stressed air traffic controllers. We should pay these air traffic controllers whatever it takes to get them there. The bonuses, the overtime, we should not shortchange the air traffic controller. We should make sure we get these air traffic controllers. You're talking about 20% of the nation's GDP running through here. We got to get our staffing levels up. It's hurting Jersey. It's hurting our economy. It's hurting our country. Today, I'm suggesting that we go a step further in recruiting air traffic controllers. I'm calling on the FAA to establish a training program to safely and smartly fast-track combat controllers, or CCTs, from the military to become FAA certified air traffic controllers. I've heard from many in the military controllers specifically, who are ready with the experience and the desire to help fix this problem, to solve this problem. The red tape should not get in the way of that. If it takes nearly 4 years in this region to train somebody air traffic control, we believe that time will be much shorter to be able to get somebody up to speed from the military who's actually in the towers there, overseeing combat missions, to be able to get here onto the commercial side. By creating this program, we can help fast-track military control tower workers, get them trained on how to handle Newark airspace, reduce staffing shortages, and help airports like ours get back on track. This is just common sense. And clearly, again, if they can handle this guys in a military offensive, they'd have a great leg up on handling the flights here over the New York and Newark airspace. Think about McGuire Air Force Base, a great space in Jersey, with great people serving. I'm going to go there and recruit. If everyone wants to come here and help make this place faster and better in terms of solving the problems, seems like a great opportunity to get those from McGuire who may be retiring, who are looking to maybe transfer from the military, to come here in air traffic control and help out. That to me seems like an obvious solution for Jersey and for this airspace. Third, we must ensure that as we upgrade the towers to new technology, as outlined in the Secretary's plan, our air traffic controllers are trained to use it. Let's make sure as we're upgrading our technology, we're bringing in our air traffic controllers so they know how to use the latest technology. Let's not wait on that. Let's do that right now and give them the tools to hit the ground running. And finally, and this is directed at all the airlines here who operate at Newark, they need to get ahead of the cancellations and flight changes. I keep hearing from so many people, right, who use this airport regularly, travelers, families, business travelers, and others, that they keep finding out last minute, right? Just a few hours before, either when they first get here or right before they get here, that their plane is going to be canceled or massively delayed. We should be able to figure this out based on staffing levels, the runway construction, and any other issues they're facing of what they got to do about it. We want people to use Newark Airport. We want them to have a great experience. I want everyone using Newark Airport. This is the best. Look at this great new terminal we have and the best people working here. I want people to come here. I don't want them going anywhere else. But I know this. We can't wait a day longer to fix the technology issues. We can't wait a day longer to fix the staffing issues we're seeing here and around the country. We've got to surge investment, ensure we have enough people in the towers and on the ground to ensure safety in our skies and to get planes moving faster. The bottom line is this isn't a partisan issue. It's a matter of public safety. It's about our economy. It's about Jersey. It's about fixing a system that we need to work together to fix. If we do that, keep our families and skies safe, there's no reason why here in the greatest country in the world, our best days won't always be ahead of us. Thanks so much. Sure. Hi, Lydia. Sure. Yes. Well, as you know, and I mentioned earlier, many of us have been fighting for this for years. My first time I worked on this actually was in 2017-18, the FAA reauthorization. We put a bunch of resources in there to fix our towers, to fix the skies, and it was a Republican-controlled Congress, and it didn't act. The good news is many of us, including in the infrastructure bill, I don't know if you were here for this part where I was talking about what's in the bipartisan infrastructure bill, which I helped negotiate and pass, which is law, which has resources to fix some of these things, and now we got to get the FAA to implement them. You're right to say that this did not just happen overnight, but I think adding to the challenge was firing 400 workers didn't help on the ground, and I think the Secretary mentioned yesterday that those were ground safety, a lot of folks from ground safety, and we've seen near misses or actual hits. I was in an airplane in D.C. A few weeks ago when two planes collided. So the idea that we would put more stress on other parts of the system now makes no sense. But listen, as I said, I'm glad we're actually announcing new action to fix and update these towers. It's got to be done. Now the key is getting it passed, which is why I'm calling on by June 1st to bring an emergency package to the floor to get these resources approved so we can start fixing our towers, because we shouldn't wait a day longer for this. Yeah. Well, we did. There were resources in there. Because as you probably know from what Sean talked about yesterday, from the Secretary talked about yesterday, that there's a lot of towers that many of our towers are out of date, and they got to be fixed. And now the key is actually fast-tracking them. And the wrong thing to do is to stop any progress on that front. We got to fix these things, but the staffing level issue has been raised for many years too. And by the way, we got to come up with more solutions to move people here. The problem occurs when these things all get compounded on each other, and we're seeing what happens. But it is true that we've seen more incidents of near misses in the last months. I don't know if that's because of changes that were made from the Trump administration or what happened, but I would say the answer is not looking back. The answer is now, what are we going to do about it? And that's what I'm here today to talk about, which is here are steps we can take to actually fix the problem going forward, which is what we have to do. If I were running this FAA right now, I know what I would do. That's why I'm making these suggestions of what I would do.